New hoax alert.
New hoax alert. Last night, J.D. Vance said soft targets like schools should be hardened against school shooters. Watch.
And I really do believe this. Look, I don't like this. I don't like to admit this. I don't like that this is a fact of life. But if you are a psycho and you want to make headlines, you realize that our schools are soft targets. And we have got to bolster security at our schools so that a person who walks through the front door We've got to bolster security so that if a psycho wants to walk through the front door and kill a bunch of children, they're not able to.
Immediately, the Associated Press put out a headline. J.D. Vance says school shootings are a fact of life and calls for better security. This headline was so dishonest that the wire service came under major fire and then had to change the headline to J.D. Vance says he laments that school shootings are a fact of life and calls for better security. The Kamala Harris campaign, which is losing momentum fast and still knowing what J.D. Vance said and meant, maliciously mischaracterized it, blasting the Republican VP nominee for saying school shootings are just a fact of life. He's pathetic. We can't quit on our kids. Doesn't have to be this way. Hillary and Gavin Newsom got in on it. The whole machine got in on it, fell in line to peddle the fact of life hoax.
To have a candidate for vice president like J.D. Vance suggest that we should just accept that a person hell-bent on engaging in a mass shooting is just a fact of life that he's going to be able to is crystal clear how Trump and Vance and the MAGA extremists are way off base.
So that comment that he made right there is another very, very stark example of the difference between these two campaigns, Harris-Walz versus Trump-Vance. People don't want this to be a fact of life.
No, mothers don't want to fear.
Nobody wants to choose this.
Fathers don't want to fear sending their children to school.
The Trump campaign has laid out a plan to fortify schools across the country. Kamala Harris's plan? She doesn't have one. She doesn't have a plan about anything. Look at her website. Her real plan is to take your guns, but she won't admit it. There's been more mass shootings under Biden-Harris than under Donald Trump, but she won't admit that either. But just pile it up with dictator on day one, bloodbath, fine people, Russia, suckers and losers. The left's lying to you. That's a fact of life.